Recording in progress.
Okay, good morning again. For those of you who don't know, I'm Charisma McLean. Some of you knew me as Charisma Brown, but I recently got married. So now Charisma McLean. I'm happy to be here with you this morning. I handle marketing, partnerships, and recruitment for AMISA. And I am joined by Derek and Adam on the call. As you know, Derek, our executive director, and Adam, our Chief Learning Officer, are both on the call. They will be taking questions here in a minute as well. So today, what I want to do is just take you through the recruitment service web pages on our website. So what I have pulled up right now is the main recruitment page on our website, which is www.amisa.us/recruitment. So when you go to our main website, which is here on the screen, and you all can see my screen? Yes? Okay. You click on teacher recruitment, and this is how you get to this main page. So this is general information for candidates. Recruiters can go to this page to get to the recruiting page as well. There's a promotional video that shows our schools, gives people the visual of what our schools really look like, because there are so many candidates out there who don't really have a vision. They're thinking, oh, these are schools out there, the students don't speak English, or I'm going there to teach English, but they really can get a look at what AMISA schools are really like. And so there's general information here, information for a button for candidates to go ahead and apply for jobs, as well as for recruiters to post their jobs here. And we'll talk more about posting jobs and everything, but I just want to take you through this website and show you how to navigate first and foremost. So from the main recruitment page, you can get to the recruitment events page. And so I'll talk about some of our upcoming events just briefly, and we'll take any questions about those. So today, of course, we're at our recruitment kickoff meeting. So just talking about everything we have coming up. This evening, we have our kickoff meeting for candidates as well. So we have candidates registered to come on in, learn about how to go through these events and best practices and tips for attending the job fair, how to make sure they're communicating with you as recruiters before the day of the event. We do want to encourage candidates to make those connections prior to that day. We think that makes everything more seamless, easier for both the candidate and the recruiter to start to get to know people prior to our December in-person job fair. So there are going to be multiple opportunities for candidates and recruiters to connect prior to that event. So at this kickoff this evening, we'll be talking to candidates about that. And you guys you're not needing to come to that event. That's just for candidates. Then we have coffee and conversation. This is going to be a Saturday event on Saturday, October 21st. This is where we'll have a panel of teachers, administrators, school leaders coming together to talk about living, well-being, diversity, belonging at AMISA schools. Again, we're trying to break that ice and some of the questions that people have as they're entering into this world of international education. We have candidates who have done international teaching before, but some are brand new to this world. And so we want to give both types of candidates an opportunity, again, to engage with our schools. So we'll have a panel, and they'll be talking to, answering some questions, and then that will be followed by a Q&A, so candidates can ask questions. And this event is really, we love this event because it's not for those questions that we may get in the kickoff meeting with candidates where it's like, well, how do I apply? Do you have this job available? How can I, answering those questions. Coffee and conversation, it truly is meant to be a conversation. What is it like working in this area? As a single female, I'm coming to this country. Will I be safe? How does the onboarding look? So questions that really get them prepared to come to your schools. And so we will select those panelists. And if you're interested in having someone from your school speak on the panel, please let us know. I'd be happy to have more people. But another opportunity to get your school in front of the candidates is at our school presentations. This is truly a showcase of our schools and what you guys can do, okay? Again, we don't want the first time people getting to know your school is at your table. By the time they reach your table, they should be ready to interview with you. They should know about your school and be excited to join you. So on Thursday, November 16th, this is that opportunity. It's going to be on Zoom from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m., and that's Eastern. And we're going to have 30-minute presentation blocks. You can sign up for 4 presentations. Okay, so each school can have 4 presentations. We'll have candidates on the call, and they get to go into different rooms to hear the presentations. And what we will encourage candidates to do is not just jump in for 10 minutes here and then go somewhere else for 5 minutes and they miss the end of your presentation. This is truly going to be an opportunity for your schools to connect again with these candidates. And so, you don't have to, as the head of school, you don't have to be the person giving the presentation. You can have your admissions director on the call. You can have 2 teachers and an admissions person. It's up to you, but we want you to put your best foot forward. And this is like a marketing opportunity for you, really. This is your PR campaign right here that we're giving you as part of the recruiting service. And just, I want you to know, for those of you who don't know, all of these things are really, it's all inclusive. Our recruiting service, once you've paid that fee to be a recruiter with AMISA, these events, you don't pay an extra fee for that. And that's what one of the great benefits of our recruitment service is you get these opportunities to promote your school, even if you're not hiring at the time. If you fill a position before these dates, you come and still showcase your organization. And so, Adam or Derek, would you like to chime in on the school presentations and talk more about it?
Yeah, thanks, Charisma. I think you nailed it. You know, it's really, as many of you may have done in the past at an in-person event where you had a time in a meeting room and you had a half hour to introduce, show a video about your school, help candidates understand a bit about your city, your country, your context, the curricular programs at your school, what are your initiatives underway, and truly paint a picture for candidates to understand what it's like if they choose to join you. If you offer them a position and they accept, what they can expect from onboarding, professional development support, what the parent community, students are like. So, and we really want you to take the opportunity to help them understand the power of teaching internationally. Many of the candidates that may choose to come, it may be their first time. They've heard about international schools, but they don't really know, as Charisma said, what it's like to work and teach in our schools, in our part of the world. They may still have COVID questions, do they have to get a vaccine if they choose to join the community? So take an opportunity to really highlight the broad brush strokes of the school, but then also start to funnel in and drill in closer. You may have a couple of students join you for the presentation. Have a member of your high school student council there to talk about, from their perspective, what student life looks like. Have the president of your PTA or parent association speak to, candidates from a parent's perspective. Gratitude is a big thing. And I think one of the special pieces of working in Latin America, in our schools, is that our parents, for the most part, and our students are grateful for the teachers that they work with. And that doesn't always happen in the United States, quite frankly. There's a different level of support. There's a different sense of family. And I think our schools do a wonderful job of supporting teachers from the moment they land and get off the airplane to how they're greeted, what housing is like, how they're taken care of. So really talk about that support that you provide, because our schools do provide an incredible level of support. So I wouldn't get into money. So you can talk about savings potential, but they can find that in the database. So I would refer them back to the database in terms of, salary ranges. And it's expected that those salary conversation and benefits will really happen in the interview process. So the school presentation, you might touch upon just some broad brush benefits, housing's provided, those kinds of things, but highlight what it's like to live and work in your schools. And I think Charisma will probably talk about our Teaching Stories initiative that we've got going on, where we're doing some videos of teachers and sharing their story. So those are some highlights I would talk about from school presentations. Take the opportunity. We hope that we have lots of teachers come in. We're really going to be building this school presentation opportunity up for many teachers who may not travel to Atlanta. This is a great chance for them to come virtually from all over the world to spend some time and get to know our schools. So thank you for considering that. We hope you will give a school presentation. Charisma, back to you.
Okay, and during those school presentations, of course, lots of photos, videos, anything you can provide to give them the true feeling of what it's like to be living and working in your area and at your school. More information will be coming out about this. So right now it says coming soon. We are going to, those of you who were involved with our virtual fair last year, and we gave you a room and you could have a co-host within your room. So it's not just like a breakout room, it's your own Zoom call within a Zoom call. And so we will send out information, show you how to set up your room. You can have links already in those rooms prior to the event. So the candidates can go in and access your booth. So more information to come. All right, and here's something new we're doing this year. Prepare for the Fair Week. From November 27th through December 1st, this is a time where we want candidates and recruiters to be in the database, really trying to go ahead and schedule those interviews, get together. You can even talk on Zoom if you want to prior to that event. So we are going to be pushing candidates. I mean, it's really starting now, right? We're already trying to get as many candidates in that database for you. But that Prepare for the Fair Week is a time where we're really going to ask you guys to try to jump in that database as much as possible, check your emails as often as possible to really start to engage with those candidates as they prepare for the fair. We're going to be answering their questions as the AMISA staff, taking logistical questions from them. But this is a time where we want engagement to be high as people prepare to meet us in Atlanta in December. And I will take you guys over to the database as well, just so you know how to get over there, but you all should have access already. Next is the AMISA Recruitment Fair, and something you'll notice this year that's a little different is it says ISS in there, right? So we are partnering with International Schools Services this year for our fair. In the past, we've done the fair back to back. So we've had our recruitment fair, and then ISS is there getting ready. As soon as we're done, they're getting their schools and tables set up right after us. Well, this is new. We've decided to join forces this year. So yes, there will be more schools within the same gym as us, but that also means more candidates. Candidates are going to be coming in who thought they wanted to go one place, and then they end up at your table and get to know the schools in Latin America and find that that should be their next home. And so we hope that this will we're confident that this will bring you much more candidates. You will have access to the ISS candidate files as well. So we will get those to you prior to the event. It'll be on your logistics page, which I'll show you here shortly. You'll be able to go in, access their files, and find out who you'd like to interview and get their contact information prior to the event as well. So we're super excited about the recruitment fair, and we'll dive in a little bit more on that in just a second. And then our virtual job fair. We had our virtual job fair last year. It went really well. So we're doing that again in April. So these are more opportunities as schools who finish up in December. They fill positions, but you may have positions open up again. We've been seeing this more and more, unfortunately, and it's not just with the AMISA schools. Throughout education as a whole and international education, we're seeing these urgent, immediate vacancies that need to be filled, right? And so we want to give you this opportunity in April to do that, as well as fill positions for the following school year. So this is just another opportunity after the in-person fair, and that link will be available soon as well for you guys to be able to go in, get registered, and get your booth set up. But that will come after we do the December fair. You will have access to that event. Okay, so I'm going to jump over into talking more about the job fair, but I do want to pause and take a moment if you want to drop something in the chat, or you can unmute and ask any questions you have so far about the events we've shown you. Okay, Derek or Adam, anything before I move on?
All good here.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I had a
all
quick
good.
question.
Keep going.
Charisma. How are
Okay.
you? Yeah, Luis
Good.
Ramirez in Bolivia. I'm at the American International School in Bolivia.
Nice.
Quick question. You mentioned that a lot of the candidates it may be their first time going internationally from at least from AMISA, right? From ISS, yeah. I imagine they've been international. Do you think you guys it'd be important for us to highlight the Southern Hemisphere calendar in our presentation? Since we do follow a Southern Hemisphere school calendar, would that be an important thing to highlight during those presentations or at the interview tables?
If you would be amongst the minority, Louise, that follow the Southern Hemisphere calendar. Are you saying, because this is news to me, to be honest, I thought you were, when does your school open in Bolivia?
Yeah, we go from February through late November.
Oh, so I don't know of any other school in AMISA that goes February through November. So yes, that would be important for you to highlight. All of our schools follow a North American calendar, starting in August and ending in June.
All right, thanks a lot for that.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you. All right, so from here, we're going over to the job fair website. So you can access this at amisa.us/job fair. Nice and simple. And we've decided this year to have a website dedicated to the fair. In the past, you know, candidates just went in the database, said that they were going, and we sent them information. But now we have this place, you know, a hub where they can go and find information, get their questions answered prior to the event. And that will allow us to have candidates who are more prepared. Again, our goal is just to have people ready to go, not coming to the fair with those surface level questions, but truly ready to be hired and take on these positions. And so you can see information here. This is where the candidate will create their profile, information about the Prepare for the Fair Week online, attending the job fair in person where they'll be taken to the database to register, and then letting us know they've been hired. And I'll just take you through this quickly because this is more so for our candidates. So it tells them a little bit about where our job fair will be held in Atlanta, in the Buckhead area, at the Atlanta International School. So we're truly excited and thrilled just to be back at the school again. In the past, the event was held at a hotel. And last year was our first time doing it at the Atlanta International School. They are an AMISA member school. So we're really happy to be there and again, give candidates the feel of our schools. Students will be there, student ambassadors helping to lead everyone through the school and get to the right locations. We have our schedule here with a detailed schedule on the logistics page as well. And we've highlighted some of our schools, two of our distinguished member schools who will be recruiting with us. And then they have a link to our full list of AMISA schools, as well as some photos and videos from prior years at our fair. So that's all on our job fair website. We'd love for you all to promote our job fair as well. If you can push that out on your social media pages, that's helpful. That's something we really want to start doing is as we're pushing out the information that we're doing and things about our schools, if the schools can then push that out too. You know, your teachers can be they're a great voice in terms of why people should work at your school. They're already there. They are already immersed in what your school has to offer. Let them be a voice and a part of that PR as well. And they can send these links out. So next I want to take you to the fair logistics page. And I will put this link in the chat because this is one that you want to bookmark All of the information for school recruiters are going to be at this link. So I'll drop it in the chat. You cannot get to this link from the main job fair page. This is private. It's hidden on our website. So the only way to access it is by going to the link that we've shared with you in the chat. We'll also be sharing this. We've shared it already with our recruiters via email. So all the recruiters who have signed up in our database will have access to this link. So this is the fair logistics. We have the date, December 8th and 9th, once again, at the Atlanta International School. You have your location, everything that's going on. So on December 7th, there's going to be a head of school governance training session. That's with Dr. Jeff Keller. And I can have Adam chime in just a second or Derek, if you want to talk more about that. And then December 8th, registration opens, candidates come in, sign in. We are going to have professional learning at this fair. This is new. Last year we didn't do this, but there will be sessions for them to attend and get some PD at that time. And then we have recruiter orientation at 2:30, and we need our recruiters to be there to get best practices, tips, and guidance on how to go through this fair. Candidate orientation is right after yours. And then we will have the interview sign up. So Friday is the interview sign up day in the gym at the Atlanta International School. Will be, this is a time for candidates to meet with recruiters and for you guys to just look at your interview time slots, get people signed up. These are not the interviews. Those will take place the next day. That is followed by the recruiter's reception, which will be at Kevin's house, who's the head of school at the Atlanta International School. So we will head there afterwards, and more information will be on here on the logistics page. We won't put the address on this particular page, so you will have to check your email for certain things. And that's just for safety reasons, just not putting it out anywhere, although this site is private. Saturday, that's going to be the interview day. So you're doing interviews all day Saturday. We will have light refreshments available. You are, responsible for your meals, but we will have light refreshments on day 2 on Saturday at the event for you. You will arrange your own travel arrangements for the job fair. So this includes airfare, airport transfers, and daily transportation to and from the event. Of course, Uber and Lyft are accessible options in Atlanta. And I'm not going to read all of this to you. You guys, I want you to access this page. Hotel information is here. So we have multiple hotels here that you can use, and you can use these links to get there and book the hotels. And I want to pause for just a second because I did say I wanted to see if Derek or Adam, did you want, before I move on, to talk about the governance?
Sure, I'll jump in here. So as an added bonus this year for attending the recruitment fair in Atlanta, we've set up a professional learning day or a block of time with, as Charisma mentioned, Dr. Jeff Keller. That's for heads of school who are in attendance and any recruiters, so leaders who are also attending for the school. He'll be from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. right there at Atlanta International School. We'll be giving a few different workshops really around the role of good leadership and good governance. And so we invite, that's free for heads of school and senior leaders who are attending the recruitment fair on behalf of your school. So if you're interested, we do need you to pre-register for those. And I'll drop that in the chat now.
Thank you, Adam. All right, so you have your hotels here. Information about dress code, arrival and parking, meals. As I said, you are responsible for those meals, but there will be some light refreshments available. Accessing candidate files. So to review AMISA candidate files, you'll click the link here. That'll take you right now to our database where you can see all of the candidates who are active right now. So they are actively searching for jobs. ISS candidate files will be here too. There will be a link that's going to be on this logistics page. The link will also be password protected, so you will have access to the password and be able to log in to view those candidate files. Information on registration, check-in, our hiring form. We want you filling out the hiring form. So when you make new hires, if you decide to hire someone at that event, verbal or written contract, we want to know about it. This is not at all to charge you anything extra. Again, our recruiting service is all inclusive. So with this form, when you fill that out, it is truly just so that we can go in, mark the candidate hired, so that other recruiters will know that they've been hired by one of our schools already. It's also a way for us to just keep up with our data, keeping the database fresh and knowing who's being hired, how many schools are making hires through our database. So please definitely don't feel hesitant at all to use that form. You won't get charged. You can make as many hires as you want at our event. We have recruiter orientation at the job fair, which we talked about. That information will be there, location, everything you need. We have our recruiting service ethics statement here. Setup and takedown times. So right after recruiter orientation, you'll head to the gym to start to get set up. We will provide the table and 2 chairs. Please bring your own tablecloth. Most schools have their tablecloth with their logo on it. You will have access to Wi-Fi. There's a public Wi-Fi network. And then again, it just breaks down our schedule a bit more and talks again about the prepare for the fair week, which is prior to coming to the fair in Atlanta. Feel free at any time, of course, to contact us. You can contact Derek on WhatsApp as well during the fair at any time. If you need us, our team will be there to help you. And so that is job fair logistics. You have the link. The link will continue to be sent out to you as well, so you can understand these logistics. I will pause again to take any questions. I don't know if there are any in the chat. Okay.
Charisma, on the page you're on right now, just so everybody can see it, on the top right, go up where you were a second ago. Yeah, on the top right, everybody can see the login. So sometimes people get confused on which login we're talking about. You can see there's a AMISA member login. That's for the website. And so that's a login to get our resource only if you're an AMISA member. And again, all your teachers, all the administrators are automatically an AMISA member because your schools are AMISA members. The recruiting service is only open to AMISA member schools. So if you're not an AMISA member school, you cannot use our recruiting service. It's only for AMISA member schools. The next 2 logins are the recruitment database logins. One you can see is for the candidate, and one is for the recruiter. So the first thing, if you as a recruiter don't have an individual login, you need to register as a new recruiter. And each year we reset the database. It's a year-by-year service. So if you have used the database in the past, but you haven't registered this school year, you'll need to register as a new recruiter for this year. And that process is explained on the recruiter page. If Charisma, you go back to our website and go to recruiter page. So under the main page where Charisma is, and then recruiters, this is an important page. And sometimes educators, as administrators and educators, we're sometimes our worst. We're worse than students at reading. So it's important that you go and you read through this page if you haven't been to this page in a while, to refresh yourself on, how this works. So there are 2 main steps. One, right where Charisma is now, to register as a recruiter. So you read those 4 bullets and it'll explain the process. Number 2, once you've registered, you can see in red, there's 3 bullets there. Keep your information up to date. So the first thing as a recruiter, you need to make sure you've done is that somebody from your school has responsibility to review your school profile, whoever your lead recruiter is. Normally that's the head of school or the HR director, to review your school profile. If your salary information has changed, you need to update that salary information. So keep your school profile up to date, and then keep your recruiter information up to date. If your high school principal is the person responsible for your high school openings, then you probably want to list your high school principal's name and email next to those high school openings. So the way openings work is you have definite openings and you have tentative openings. And when you go to the database, and we can log in a second and go through the database if needed, but let's pause there and answer any questions. And so the website, I'm looking, Anna Maria, registers only
Yes,
Megan
thank
David
you
is a
so
member.
much. Thank you so much, Derek. I've been typing you and driving you crazy. So yeah, I tried to register our school, but we are not in the menu. The only Panamanian school in the menu is Megan David. So I
Okay.
cannot proceed, I cannot move forward.
Yeah, let me correct that. Give me one moment, I'll correct it.
Not a problem. Thank you so much. I don't want to interrupt.
Okay, is everyone else already registered in the database and can access the database where you post your jobs? No, okay. And when you go here to log in, I've also dropped a link in the chat. The one that says asarecruiting.com/recruiter login. You'd go there, and that's where you will register as a new recruiter. Okay. And while Derek is doing that, you can go ahead and create just by putting your email and password in. And I'll pause.
Every Monday. I think we're recording again. So it was top secret information we just shared when we were not recording. So if you're not on this call this morning, you missed out on some really good information. We were just walking through the database. So there's some confidential information there. So we stopped recording, but reach out to us at recruiting at AMISA. Give me a call, WhatsApp. We're here to help you if you're not on this call and you have questions. But the recruiting database is your one-stop shop. That's where I was saying, get your vacancies posted. So your recruiting team wants to start putting up tentative vacancies, definite vacancies. Our database pushes out an auto email every Monday with new vacancies to candidates. So get your vacancies posted. We push that out every Monday to candidates now. That's a new feature of the database, highlighting the vacancies that have been added. So it matches the candidate search criteria. So if they're an elementary school candidate, they're going to get the elementary vacancies that are starting to be posted by schools. If I'm a high school math teacher, I'm getting the high school vacancies that are posted by schools. So I think at this point, we really want to just take some time to answer any other questions that maybe people have.
I think from my end, everything is super clear. I appreciate your guys' time putting together the presentation in the chat, and yeah, we'll review with the team, and if we have anything, we'll let you know. Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
And Derek, one last thing, we did mention teaching stories. We have partnered with Filmistas. They do amazing videos. And so we're doing a video campaign with our schools called AMISA Teaching Stories. Again, we are all about telling the real stories about AMISA. We're moving away from too many stock images on our website to getting images of people from our schools on our website so people can really know what it's like there. So teaching stories will be an opportunity for some of our educators to tell their real stories, how AMISA has impacted them, from the recruitment fair to arriving in the country that they're working, and telling their heartfelt stories. So we have a variety of different educators. We have already started doing interviews. The Filmistas team has worked with some of those teachers, interviewed them, and they're starting with recording high quality videos. They're using state-of-the-art equipment. And so these are videos that are going to be published on our website, again, used to promote your schools and also used to promote the job fair. We want the top candidates to come to you. One bit of feedback we got last year from our fair was that it was small. You know, we were still coming out of COVID, but the number didn't matter because the quality of candidates was so powerful. And so we want to continue to bring you high quality. As we see that number get bigger with candidates attending this event, we still want the quality to be there, and that's our expectation. And so we're doing all we can from the marketing and communication standpoint, also from professional learning, to really bring you the best. And so with these teaching stories, we hope that these stories will really tug at the heartstrings of candidates around the world to say, that's what I want. From people who had health scares in our schools, with the benefits that they offered, were able to get through those times with their families. Just teaching couples who moved a whole family to a different place, and how that worked out for their family, the challenges and also the rewards of doing that. We think that's what people need to hear about most. That's what's going to sell your school over a school that may pay more money than you. Because when you can't compete when it comes to salary, we have to tell the story of how we do compete, because there's a reason people are still going to our schools and staying at our schools. And so we really want to get that out. And that's going to be our Teaching Stories campaign. You guys will receive information on that when those videos are ready to go and we roll those out. We'll be rolling them out on social media, on our AMISA Minute that you all should be receiving, which is the memo that goes out every 2 to 3 weeks, as well as on our website. So we're doing the best we can, thinking of innovative ideas to really tell the AMISA story. So look out for those. We're super excited about that. And we thank you. Thank you so much for attending today. Please spread the word. Like Louise said, let your teams know about this information. This has been recorded, so we'll also send that out, and you can share it with your teams as well. Any closing remarks, Adam and Derek? I'll turn it over.
Yeah, thanks, Charisma. The partnership with ISS is something we were proud of, and I think it's a strong collaboration. In-person fairs, you know, we're monitoring that like everywhere else around the world. There's been a drop off of in-person fair attendance. As I've said in other places, and I'll say again, this December is an important one for us. We believe we're making a strong effort to get people to attend the fair. We're going to evaluate the number of attendees we have. We've always tried to get a confirmation from candidates if they're attending. We really struggle. Everybody does, not AMISA, ISS does, every recruiting agency. We think we've got, 50 people saying yes and only 30 show up. And so we can't tell you how many people are going to be at the fair. Between ISS and AMISA, our target is 100 at least, to have 100 candidates. I think in my mind, if we have 100 candidates at the fair for this one-day fair, it's a Friday evening and Saturday. Our target in the United States is really first-time overseas candidates. Most of the first-time overseas candidates, I think, have great value in attending the fair. That's the feedback from the candidates. Once I've been international at 1 or 2 schools, I have a sense of what it's like working international. And a lot of schools are able to interview and hire virtually. So this will be an evaluation for us. If we don't, last year, I think we had 38 candidates, somewhere in that neighborhood. And, that was low, but people are just coming out of the pandemic. Not everybody's traveling. We're working with Atlanta International School to really message and market into the greater Atlanta area. We hope we have a strong show, and we're making lots of effort marketing wise. But as Charisma said, anything you can do to put out the word and to share. and to really make sure you come to school presentations. You know, that you got to remember this from a candidate side too. If candidates are coming into school presentations and, you know, schools aren't there to give presentations, you know, what message does that send? So all of our schools, we all need to work collaboratively together to make sure that we're putting out our best efforts to help candidates see what it's like to work in our schools. So those are my closing remarks. I hope you choose to attend the fair in person. If we don't have schools come to Atlanta, you know, and we have a bunch of candidates, then we're going to have the flip side of that coin, where candidates are going to say, you know, why did I travel all the way to Atlanta and there are no schools here? So we're asking our schools to work with us this year to make effort to come and be in person. And let's see if we have an in-person attendance that is worth the travel and the connection. As Charisma said, we've always been kind of what we've said is a boutique fair. We're not ISS. We don't have that global reach. We're about our region. We are the only regional association that runs a recruitment service, and we're proud to do that and provide that service. It's a great value. The cost of it is the lowest out there for schools, and it's all inclusive. Post as many jobs as you want, hire as many candidates as you want, come to the events and really help our region shine. We've got some wonderful schools and wonderful communities. So thank you so much for coming in this hour this morning. And with that, we'll close, and please stay on if there are any other calls, but I think we can end the recording, Charisma, and we'll share the video